Who do you say that I am? When I think of myself, I know exactly what you see. Every flaw, every blemish, the scars of my hurts and my mistakes, the things I've done to myself, the things that have been said and done to me, that's who I am. You see a mother, a daughter, a sister, an aunt. You see the scarce shadow of a woman's potential irreversibly wrapped in failure. But then I hear it. That still, small voice. Who told you that? Who told you that you are defined by your mistakes? Who told you that you are ugly and broken? Who told you that you are only measured by what you give others? Who told you that brokenness and frailty are what you carry? Haven't you heard? You are not what everyone says you are. You are who God says you are, and you are His. He says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. He says you are a perfect design, made for a purpose, made for a destiny, and you are never alone. He says He'll never leave you nor forsake you. He goes before you. He goes behind you. He says you are bold. He says you are brilliant. He says you are brave. He says greater is He that is in you. You are a masterpiece, hand-painted by the Master Himself. You are who God says you are.
Welcome to the Nugget to Live By. Remember, the Nugget to Live By is our leadership nugget for the week, in which we do all we can to find ways to implement that nugget into our lives during the week. So thank you so much for joining me this morning for the Nugget to Live By. Now, this morning we have a great nugget for you. You know, we're talking about leadership because that's all it's about. It's about leading others. God created us to create this culture in which we become leaders, not just followers. So today I want to talk a little bit about leadership, not just leading ourselves, but one of the key factors that we have. You know, children are a gift from God. And I remember growing up as a child, I grew up under what they call that village philosophy. And what does that mean? That meant on every block I had a parent. No matter where I went, there was somebody there. You know, these days we have closed circuit televisions and cameras that are everywhere. But when I grew up, and for a lot of you all who are listening to me this morning, we had live eyes on us. There were always cameras everywhere I went. No matter I went 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away, 4 blocks away, there was always a person watching me who was in relationship with my grandmother and my mother. So no matter where I was, I knew that I was being watched. And it's so important for us to realize that our children are a gift from God. So today I want to kind of talk about our nugget today. And our nugget today is called Have Children, Then Lead Them. If you have children, then lead them. You know, we live in a time today where people put their children on autopilot. And many times we find different things in different ways in which we basically give that opportunity or delegate that opportunity to someone else to raise our children. And many people put their children on autopilot. And how can we do that? We put our children on autopilot. Instead of giving them our presents, we give them money. Or we buy them things. And what you'll find is when you put your children on autopilot, when turbulence comes, there's always an opportunity for a crash. So today I want to kind of talk about that today. I want to talk about if you have children, then lead them. So let's kind of jump right into it. Number 1, our scripture for today is found in Proverbs chapter 22, verse number 6. Proverbs 22, verse number 6. And here's what it says. It says, train up a child in a way that he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. Train up a child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. That's Proverbs 22 and verse number 6. Now, here's something we want to realize, that God calls parents to lead their children. God calls us to lead our children, not to put them on autopilot. And just how does a parent become a good leader for a child? How do you do that? How do you become a good leader for a child? Well, partly by focusing on 3 key words. Today I'm going to talk about 3 key words. You know, one of the things that I heard people say about today is that we have to do more life service than lip service when it comes to our children. It's so important. So let me give you 3 quick words on how, 3 M's on how we focus on training up our child in the way that it should go. How do we become the leader for our children? Now, there are three M words I want to kind of look at here. So let's do these real quickly. The first one is modeling. Modeling is always the first step anytime you're trying to mentor anyone as a leader. So many people use the word mentorship first, but you can't mentor what you don't model. So it's so important that we become models first to our children before we talk about mentoring. You know, Abraham Lincoln said it like this: there is but one way to train up a child in the way he should go, and that is to travel it yourself. What does he mean by that? You can't take a person anywhere that you have not traveled. I can't tell you about a place or a city or town if I've never been there. I can't even tell you about a roadmap on how to get from one place to another if I've never traveled that journey. So it's so important for us to realize, not just to tell them and then send them on their way, but to make sure that we're traveling the same road or have traveled the same road that we're telling them to go. So again, he says that that's the key. You got to travel it yourself. And then a good example is worth 1,000 sermons. It's more important for us to be the sermon than to tell the sermon. It's more important for us to live what we're telling the children to do. What you do has more impact on your child than all the lectures than you can ever give. It's so important that we do modeling. But the second M is management. Management, that's right. Our children not only need modeling, but we need to manage them. And you know, good management is the ability to discern the uniqueness of a child and teach him or her accordingly. Let me tell you something. If you have more than one kids, if you have more kids than one, here's what you realize: that each and every child is special, and each and every child needs to be treated differently. And so in order to do that, you've got to be a good manager, because here's the thing: each and every child becomes a project of its own. And we are to train up our children in the way that he should go. That's what the scripture, that's what Proverbs 22 and 6 says. And this may mean we have to adapt our style depending on the child's temperament and wiring. And let me tell you, part of management is also discipline. You've got to understand, you have got to discipline. Part of management includes discipline. Spare the rod, spoil the child. It's so important that management becomes key after modeling. So we're going to model first, then we're going to manage, and then here's our last one today: we're going to build memories. Here's one thing I'm going to always say: a kid will always forget the stuff that you buy, but they'll never forget the memories that you make. It's always important that we build memories, because when we build memories, memories become those teaching moments that we can also use. Those memories are those things that will always come back in those times when our children grow older. Memories are more important than things. Let me tell you, write that down. Memories will always be more important than the things. Many times we're more happy about the things than the child himself. So again, memories are more important than things. Note that the verse says, when he is old, he will not depart. So memories help us to build those things because again, memories become teaching moments. So this implies that the child has memories of his early experiences and embraces them later in life. Remember, they'll never forget, or they'll never remember the shoes that you buy, the clothing that you buy, the toys that you spent your hard-earned money on. But they'll remember those memories, because those memories is what this verse is talking about. When they are old, they will not depart from it. Those memories become teaching moments when they become older in life. So here's our nugget question that we're going to end with for today. In what ways can you lead your children? In what ways can you lead your children? Again, thank you so much for joining me for the Nugget to Live By. Remember this, we are trying to implement these things into our lives to improve our leadership abilities each and every week. Now, there's a couple things I'd like for you to do. Number one, we'd love for you to be in connection with us. There are now 3 ways to do that. Our website, goodseed.church, and our brand new digital app that we love for you to download to be part of the things that we're going to be doing. We've got some great announcements that we're going to be announcing in the next couple of weeks. A couple of brand new church plants that will be taking place this year. But again, my first step is I need you to download the Good Seed Ministries app. And here's how you can do it. It's really, really simple. Follow these simple directions. Now that's how you download the Good Seed Ministries app. We would love for you to be part of our online church. You can do everything from checking out the media to following our calendar. Again, we have some great workshops, conferences, seminars that will be taking place in the year 2021. And we want you to be part of what we're doing. So again, go to our website, goodseed.church, download the app. It's real simple to do. And if you haven't done it yet, please download your Right Now Media account. Right Now Media is over a 20,000 video library to help us in every area to become better leaders. So if you haven't done those 3 things, our 3 digital platforms, our website, goodseed.church, our app, you can download that real simple, and your Right Now Media account. Now, real simple, you can support Good Seed Ministries. We're an international ministry. We do ministry in Chicago, Katy, Texas, and soon to be announced, another 3rd city in the United States of America. But we also do international ministry in the continent of Africa through the countries of Uganda and Kenya, in which we support our pastors there in those locations. Now, you can support Good Seed Ministries. It's real easy to do. Here's how you can do it. So that's how you can support Good Seed Ministries. Again, thank you so much for joining me on today. And I hope you take that nugget. Remember this, if you have children, God is calling us to lead them. Why? Because children are a gift from God. So thank you so much for joining us today. I hope to see you real soon. God bless you. Don't forget, hit the share button. We're helping our friends, family, co-workers, everybody we know understand who they are and whose they are, so that the purposes of God will become clearer in their lives, and the potential that God has given to each and every one of us begins to line up with the calling of ministry that God has given us all. Don't forget, I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Have a blessed day.